Alright, time to pop this in, record some footage for the review, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh. That ain't good. Disclaimer, the latest update broke my game and I'm not troubleshooting it, so all footage and opinions are from the stream you can find on my channel. Yes, I played the game once and probably never again. On with the review. Oneechanbara is a series with a weird history. Starting as a Japanese $20 budget game, it gained a cult following because despite its cheap, janky, fetishistic nature, it had some shockingly good combat. It was never necessary, of course, but those that explored the game's mechanics would find significantly more meat on its bones than expected, and that was the charm. Look at me, I'm doing sick jungle combos in this cheapo bargain bin titty game. However, with the dawn of the 7th generation, development prices went up, and Oneechanbara struggled to find its footing at a higher price point. But with the release of Oneechanbara Z Kagura, they seem to have found their way, replacing series mainstays Aya and Saki with a new duo of Kagura and Saya, with Aya and Saki being DLC, of course. This gave them a fresh start to make more technical movesets and more fitting characters for the series. The next game in the series, Oneechanbara Z2 Chaos, would see the new girls teaming up with the veterans in what may well be my favorite character action game of all time. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Oneechanbara is a system seller to me. I bought both my Japanese 360 as well as my PS4 specifically to play Oneechanbara games. Yes, they're not technically good, but they have a certain charm to them that better games like Bayonetta don't have. See, Bayonetta has actually challenging enemies that require you to pay attention and make full use of Bayonetta's sizable arsenal of moves, picking the right one for the situation. And dang it, I just plain don't have the skills. I just want to do 6 dial switch tag combos on mindless punching bags and pretend I'm good at video games. What's wrong with that? Basically, Oneechanbara is the middle ground between Dynasty Warriors and Bayonetta, and I love it for that. Alas, the games never really fully explained just how big and beefy their move lists secretly were. Many people just pop the game in, spam square, and think that's all there is to the game, and I mean, it works. It's just boring. Oneechanbara is a game where half the fun is what you make of it. If you're not being flashy for the sake of being flashy and only doing what you need to do, oh yeah, these games are crap. However, in the midst of all this, a new series from the same developer was rising. With the announcement of the 3DS, the fine folks at Tamsoft said, what do people want to see in 3D? What could they possibly— boobs! 3D boobs, let's go. And so, Senran Kagura was created, and what started as a cheapo side-scrolling booby game evolved into Tamsoft's most popular and profitable franchise. While the mainline series were 3DS exclusive side-scrollers, the back few Vita spin-offs got quite popular due to being released on PC, and PS4. Some folks think that since Senran Kagura and Oneechanbara are from the same devs and in the same genre, they must play the same, but nothing could be further from the truth. Oneechanbara has a significantly larger move list, but all you need to do is mash square and dodge, and that's boring. On the other hand, Senran Kagura's move list is much smaller, but the attacks have much more impact, flash, and flair, that the mere act of mashing square and dodging feels amazing, and many people prefer it. I don't, but I still love both series, and this is where the worry set in, because I was afraid that one day Oneechanbara would turn itself into a Senran Kagura clone because that was more popular. With the announcement of Oneechanbara Origins, a remake of Oneechanbara's 1 and 2, I was both hyped and afraid. The new cel-shaded visuals looked amazing, and remaking the first two was a really good idea, but would the new style come with a downgrade in gameplay? Well, I imported the game, and the answer is yes. Oneechanbara Origins is not an Oneechanbara game. This is a watered-down Senran Kagura. Emphasis on watered down. Senran Kagura may have less moves than Oneechanbara, but the move list is still decent, and it makes up for it with character variety. Even the first Senran Kagura has 5+ unique playable characters. But Oneechanbara Origins not only has a moveset so small it makes Dynasty Warriors 3 look like Devil May Cry 3, but the two playable characters are almost indistinguishable from one another gameplay-wise. But you know what makes it all worse? Literally everything else is drastically improved. The graphics look great, stage design is decent, presentation is solid, load times are more than tolerable, heck, my favorite characters, the zombie schoolgirls, look better than ever. What's more, as this does appear to be running on the Senran Kagura engine, the dodging and mashing square feels better than ever. The result is a worst-case scenario for fans like me. A game that's a drastic downgrade that looks like a drastic upgrade for non-fans. I have no doubt that Oneechanbara Origins is going to be hailed as the first actually good game in the series by the majority of people, and that just stings. And again, they have a point too. One could easily say that the sizable moveset and solid combat were pretty much the only things the older games had going for them, and everything else sucked. Here though, everything else is way better, except the moveset and combat. Okay, so if the move list is so dang small, then how about we go over it, eh? The whole thing, for all characters. Okay, so you mash square for your basic attack combo, and yes, hitting square with frame-perfect timing still gets you a cool combination. Triangle throws knives for Aya's single sword style and does kicks for Aya's dual sword style, and while playing as Saki, who only has her sword moveset, by the way, no punching. Oh wait, no, turns out Saki does have her punching moves, except I didn't make it to that part before my game decided to just, stop loading. Up in triangle is your launcher, which you automatically jump after, and down in triangle is your sweep kick. Mash square in the air to air combo, triangle in the air for a ground slam. When an enemy is stunned, press square and triangle simultaneously to do your finisher move. For Aya, it's his dashing slash. For Saki, it's her grapple. Good to have those back, but you no longer have control over them, so still no tearing zombies in half with your bare hands like in the older games. Maybe triangle and circle do a super? I forget, my game doesn't boot. And that's it. That's the whole move list. For everything. Though I do admit I did not buy the DLC character Rei, or Lei I guess they're calling her, because why would I when the base game is so garbage? Let's go over it again. Square, triangle, up triangle, down triangle, air square, air triangle, that's pretty much it. Like 6 moves. You got your finisher and your super, but those are situational. No forward plus square stab, no side slashes, no half circles to throw sonic booms, no hold a button and release. Heck, no circle button. Ah, yes. That's because the circle button has been changed from your sub-weapon button to your useless parry button. And I do mean useless. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of dedicated parry buttons as it is. Seems like a cheap and forced way to try to add challenge and depth to the game. But here, man, it's not even worth it. Okay, so any attack can be instantly canceled into a parry, and the parry itself has a bit of recovery. Not a bad idea. Enemies sparkle before they attack, giving you some idea of when to parry. Okay, cool. Timing is still tricky, but they have the right idea. Problem. I was fighting a boss that clearly wanted me to parry. Took me half my life bar to get the timing down. I hit the parry, nailed it, and the boss super armored through the parry hit. It did nothing to him. The game can just deny your parries. So what was even the point? You scrapped an entire button's worth of moves for this? Why would you even bother parrying when you could just dodge? The game has the Senran Kagura perfect dodge thing with the sick camera angle, and even if you screw up a dodge, you still get out of the way regardless of if you get your timing wrong. When you screw up a parry, you eat a combo, and even if you land your parry, the game can just nope it away. What was the point? Want me to tell you the change that sums up the whole game so well? The mud zombies. The mud zombies were the best example of bad Oneechanbara game design, as pretty much the only way to beat them in the older games was doing the zombie heart ripper attack, where you do 3 frame perfect cool hits, pause, then press forward plus square. The game never really told you this as far as I remember, I mean it was in Japanese, but as the series went on, they introduced more and more ways to deal with mud zombies that didn't require this, like going into super mode or using a boss special or whatnot. By Z2 Chaos, the zombie heart ripper attack was pretty much a hidden bonus, as only Aya and Saki could perform it, while Kagura and Saya had plenty of other options. But it was cool because he still got a zombie heart item from it, and those were way more useful in Z2 Chaos. But in Origins, guess how you do the zombie heart ripper? Parry. That's it. Mud zombies are now forced parry enemies. Bait their attack, counter, button, zombie heart ripper happens. In some ways, this is an improvement. In other ways, it's just lame. The only good change to the combat is the super mode, the one thing they got really right. So, for those who don't know, The reason why Aya wears a bikini is because she has special skin that absorbs zombie blood and allows her to access a superpowered berserker mode. Yes, Oneechanbara was breathing through their skin before it was cool. Problem was that this berserker mode was as much a hazard as it was a power-up, because while you were in berserker mode, your health also drained, so usually it wasn't worth it. But now they got it. So as you fight, you fill a berserk meter. Once full, you get a big old power-up and have a limited time to fill it again. Fill it a second time within the time limit, and you transform into the demon mode from Z2 Chaos, and are even faster and more powerful, but your health drains. But every enemy you kill refills your health a little. So as long as you kill as fast as you can in a murderous rampage, not only will you survive your super mode, but you could even regain health. And yeah, there's a timer, and when it runs out, eventually you go out of super mode. This is how it should have worked from the beginning. It gives a solid I'm a psycho rampaging murderer feel. I guess the tag mechanic is pretty alright too. Basically, once you get the second half of the game, the part where you have Saki on your team, the Oneechanbara 2 part, Aya and Saki fight together and both are on screen at the same time. But press that tag button and your partner will instantly teleport in and assist you while your previous character stays on screen fighting, now controlled by the AI. That's cool. But this does raise an obvious and important question. Is split screen co-op back? Nope. Cripes, I would have forgiven nearly everything if they at least brought back local co-op. For those unfamiliar, Oneechanbara 2, 3, 4, and the 360 version of 5 all had split screen co-op, but they slowly deprecated it. From full campaign co-op in 2 and 3 to only in side modes in 4 to only in one very specific mode in postage stamp size screens in 5 to finally cutting it from the PS3 version of 5 because the system couldn't handle it. Oneechanbara Z Kagura with No ran noticeably worse on PS3. Then Z2 Chaos just never bothered to bring it back, and it's still gone. This is a shame. We need more character action games with co-op play, dang it. So with all that said, this means that the central gameplay loop of Oneechanbara Origins is mash square, avoid attacks, and spam triangle on larger enemies, then spam square plus triangle until you can't anymore. Then go back to mashing square. It's that last part I haven't mentioned yet. When an enemy is stunned, you can press square and triangle together to do a finishing move, a slash with Aya or a grapple with Saki. It hobes and instantly kills the opponent and stuns anyone that gets winged by the attack, allowing you to do it again and again and again in a chain. This is the easiest way to beat large enemies, so do it. And how do you stun enemies to open them up for the finisher? Triangle. Knives or kicks, doesn't matter. Knives are ranged, they're better, meaning single sword Aya is the best character. And that's game. I will say the presentation seems nice, and it probably adds a lot of flavor to the plot of Oneechanbara 1 and 2. For anyone wondering about the new girl Lei, she's basically just Reiko from the original games, but with a different design and moveset. Same story right down to the cloning plot. I will say at least that I appreciate that the Battle Arena Toshinden 3 reference is still in the game. Tamsoft being the folks who made Toshinden oh so long ago, you may find one of the boss outfits rather familiar. But yeah, that's it. Oneechanbara went from an unpolished mess that seemed like a mindless button masher, but secretly contained hidden depth, to a much more polished mindless button masher with no depth. I have no doubt in my mind that this game will be praised as the best in the series by most people, while I sit here and sulk that one of my favorite game series is ruined, and the next game is probably going to continue this trend of garbage too. Except that literally all they need to do to fix this game is add more moves. A lot more moves, like at least 3 times as many moves, because that's a problem. In its entirety, everything else is great, except I have no moves. I have no moves, and I must combo. And to anyone saying, oh, they streamlined the game by removing the unnecessary moves. You see, just because the game has a large moveset, that doesn't mean it's better. It's all about how you use the moves, you see. It's actually good game design to fuck off. I like big move lists. I play Oneechanbara for big move lists. Move list too small, game bad, 2.5 out of 5. And it's sad, too. Like, again, all they have to do is make the move list bigger and it would be great. Until then, while Origins isn't bad, there's no reason to play it, when you can just play literally anything else, like any Senran Kagura games, which play and feel almost identical, but with bigger move lists, more characters, more content, and even more lewdness. Having said that, have you seen One Piece Pirate Warriors 4? It's not quite Oneechanbara, but thank goodness Dynasty Warriors is evolving in the combat department. Strike 4 is still the best combat in the series, but Pirate Warriors 4 is pretty nice, and hey, it has split-screen co-op, and online, and tons of characters. Just saying. Anyway, this is Gel, and you've been GameBabbled. See ya. But before I go, I'd like to give a shout out to all the people whose YouTube videos I stole clips of. Look, my channel's non-profit, none of this is monetized. I needed to get this out fast, I don't have my systems hooked up, and I really wanted some really, really good play footage of, you know, what Oneechanbara looks like when someone who's actually skilled at the game plays it, so, I hope y'all don't mind me just throwing your names up on the screen and giving y'all a special thanks and, links to your channel. Y'all did great. You make Oneechanbara look like a work of art with the kind of combos you do. It's wonderful. Also, while editing this video and going back and re-watching that little clip in slow motion of the parry incident, I do recognize that the boss, seems to have activated his super armor before I parried, so it denied my parry before I even did it, and then the second time the parry hit, and it just pushed him back far enough that I couldn't hit him, and he dodged out of the way. The point is, my point still stands. Even if they managed to patch it, and I could get past the title screen, again, the parry sucks because it's too much risk for next to no reward when you could just dodge. Also, I did manage to find a Japanese combo video for Oneechanbara Origins, and it looks like there's a slide kick maneuver I never found that may or may not be usable in combat, but either way, I watched it, and yeah, it just confirms my suspicion. It looks like the best combos you can do is just cool combination into super, tag out while one character is supering, and have the second character cool combo into super. That seems like about it. Most of the skill stuff is them actually making that garbage parry work for them. So, yeah, my point still stands, the review still stands, and I hope next Oneechanbara is better. See ya again.
And now for something completely different.